Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. And this is one of two paid requests from Robert. Thank you so much for that. For those interested, requesting any type of videos, whether it be a topic, tier list, ranking, review, re-review, thought streams, commentaries, whatever the case may be, feel free to send it, and I'll get to it as soon as I possibly can. PayPal and Cash App are the best ways to do it. Usually PayPal. Links are down below, and feel free. I'll get to it as soon as I possibly can, so thank you. But the first request is for Ted, the 2012 film directed by Seth MacFarlane. Now, Seth MacFarlane, I'm not a Family Guy fan. When I think of animated cartoons, I prefer Beavis and Butthead, The Simpsons, Robot Chicken. The few bits I've seen of King of the Hill I liked. South Park, I would prefer. There's a lot of other ones I enjoy more. Now, I have seen other stuff he's done. I did not mind what I saw of the Orville, but I think that was one of those shows that it took forever for another season to pop up, because it's like, we're making it, but we're not making it, so it felt like it was like 2-3 years or more between seasons, and it just disappeared pretty much. So they just stopped. But the little bits I saw, I'm like, well, the Orville seems more like Star Trek than the new bullshit Star Trek we get today. But he also did A Million Ways to Die in the West, which I thought was a god-awful Western comedy. That was so fucking long. I swear that was like 2.5 hours long or something. It felt that way. Jesus. But this is the first time he got to direct a film. Now, it stars Mark Wahlberg, you got Mila Kunis, Joel McHale, Sam Jones from Flash Gordon. The 1980 film makes an appearance because that's definitely a big plot point, is the 1980 Flash Gordon film. Patrick Warburton is in the film. Great character actor. He's been in a ton of stuff. Ryan Reynolds makes a cameo in this. And, of course, Seth MacFarlane voices the title character, Ted. Now, before I go on, when I first saw this film, I'll be honest, I kind of went, meh, not big on it. I think because, which, I mean, I would say watch it again. I think it's okay. I do. I think it's okay. When I first saw this, it already felt familiar to me because the year prior, we had a film like this. In 2011, we had a film called Paul, which I liked more, which was about a small, non-human creature that was foul-mouthed and would say crazy things or do drugs or sexual stuff or whatever, and meets these humans, and then things go awry. Paul, I'm trying to remember who was the same guy who directed Superbad, or I can't remember, but it had Nick Frost and Simon Pegg from Shaun of the Dead, from Hot Fuzz. And they were going to a comic convention or sci-fi convention, and it's a road trip movie, and they meet this alien named Paul, voiced by Seth Rogen. And I liked that movie. I thought it was fun, it was decent, it was entertaining. Sigourney Weaver, I think Jason Bateman was in it. And I liked that film, but that film came out and it did nothing. It did not do anything. It didn't turn any heads. It didn't make much in terms of box office. And then a year later, this comes out, and people forget how huge this film was. This film made over $200 million in the U.S. alone. This movie made over $500 million worldwide. That's a lot of fucking money for a comedy that's not a sequel, prequel, comic book film. It's an original idea. For me, it just didn't feel as original because I'm like, I saw this movie called Paul from a year before, and I like that movie more. Why is this getting the praise? Why is this getting the pass? But, and also, I get tired of seeing Mark Wahlberg and shit. And I repeated this. There are films I like that have him in it. Patriots Day, Fear, The Big Hit, The Italian Job. But it's like, man, does Mark Wahlberg have to be in this fucking movie too? Like, that's my reaction. And Mila Kunis, I'm not a big Mila Kunis fan. Now, watching it again, I thought overall, like I said, it's okay. There are moments that did make me chuckle. I thought the look, the demeanor of Ted, the teddy bear, is an interesting novelty. It was kind of neat to see who Seth got for this, like Patrick Stewart doing the opening and closing narration of the film. There are dialogue moments that did make me chuckle. The plot of the film, it takes place in Boston. Wahlberg, when he was a kid, had no friends, was very lonely, got a teddy bear for Christmas, made a wish for a friend. The teddy bear came alive. And the next morning, when the parents see it, this did make me laugh, watch it again. The dad's like, "Give me my gun." "Yeah, get a gun." And then Ted goes, "Is it a hunting gun?" I don't know why, but I think just because the voice of this childlike voice coming from Ted at that moment, saying that line, "Is it a hunting gun?" Just made me smirk, made me chuckle. I will admit. It shows them growing up, doing things like standing in line for the Phantom Menace dressed up, and Ted's dressed up as Yoda. Stuff like that. Comes back to present day, where they're buddies, and Mark Wahlberg has his dead-end job, where his boss keeps talking about how he's such big friends with Tom Skerritt. And I thought where that led to was kind of funny. And that's what I mean, like, there are moments I did check out of it. I did chuckle out of it. But I mean, definitely a lot of drug references. Not all the jokes worked for me. Like Ted, "Oh, this is what a Boston orgasm sounds like." Is that okay? Whatever. The rest of the plot is Mark is going out with Mila Kunis. Mila Kunis says, "Hey, I want to go further with this relationship. You need to grow as a man. Leave these childish things. Take more responsibility." After an incident where Ted has a bunch of hookers over, among other stuff, it's like, you gotta move out, you gotta get your own job, you gotta get your own place. Ted obliges, gets a job at a grocery store, meets this girl named Tammy Lynn, and they have a thing going on. And then Mark is with Mila Kunis, and they have a thing going on. Ted is still lonely. Ted is still wanting to hang out with Mark. Eventually gets him to go to his party where Sam Jones is at, because they're both hardcore fans of the 1980 film Flash Gordon. Mark Wahlberg screws up, stays over too late, lied to Mila Kunis. They break up. Mark's like, "I want nothing to do with you, Ted." Eventually they reconcile. Ted tries to get Mark back with Mila Kunis. And then you also have this side plot with this creepy guy played by Giovanni Ribisi that saw Ted when he was a kid, wanted him for his own. Now he's older, he wants Ted for his kid. And then you get this whole finale where Mark and Mila Kunis has to rescue Ted from these creepy-ass Giovanni Ribisi and his son. Now, I thought the effects on Ted looked pretty good. Maybe because maybe it's easier to just animate a stuffed toy because there's not so much in terms of facial moves that you have to get the details on. I thought that some of the supporting actors did their jobs well. Patrick Warburton, it's always great to see him in a movie. One of his early scenes where he's like, "What happened to you?" "I don't remember. I was so fucked up. Maybe I may be gay. I don't know." Like, he says it so deadpan, and he says it as like one long sentence, like without even stopping, going, "I don't remember. I was so fucked up. I may be gay. I don't know." He just has a certain voice that makes stuff like that work. And there's fun references. I mean, the fact that Flash Gordon gets referenced a lot, I thought was cool. Because I liked that movie. It's a fun movie. It's a campy film. And the fact that you have Sam Jones, and there's moments where you see him in the costume again. And Mark even visualizes being in the movie with Sam Jones on that flying scooter thing. And you have the Queen music playing. Flash, ah. Even before that, when he's driving to the party, you have that. If you remember Flash Gordon, remember the scene with the football. Dun, 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 dun. That music is played when he's driving, and the way it's edited, where it's like scenes from the movie, and it's edited to the beats of the song, with him driving and getting through traffic, or the camera, like I liked the way it was edited. I thought it was neatly edited. I liked that they went to the edits of the music to fit with the edits of visually. I thought that was really cool. I thought that was fun. And Sam Jones making fun of himself. Hey, let's do some drugs, and he does this, meaning cocaine. And hey, Flash, I bet you can't punch a hole through that wall. Okay. And there's a guy over. Granted, nowadays they'd be looked at very stereotypical, very un-PC, but it's an Asian guy talking very stereotypically Asian, who has a duck named James Franco, and whose last name is Ming. But I will admit, I laughed when Sam Jones like Ming, and he visualizes Ming in the Ming outfit from Flash Gordon. Death to Ming! And then you have the music from Queen. So Sam Jones is being the guy, Mark Wahlberg's trying to stop it. The duck is fighting Ted, and like, all that was a lot of fun. The music definitely helped. The way it was edited definitely helped. Sam Jones taking the piss out of it. That was very fun. I gotta admit, watching it, that was very fun. That made me entertained. Mark Wahlberg, while I think there were other people that could have done this that I would have liked more. Like, honestly, I saw Ryan Reynolds. He has a cameo. I would have preferred him in the lead. I would have preferred him in the Mark Wahlberg character in that spot. But I mean, Mark Wahlberg was fine. I will admit, he was fine. There are moments he has that wide-eyed, doe-eyed look to him. And there's elements of humor that he does that reminds me of what he did in The Other Guys, which I thought was a pretty fun movie. I like that one with him and Will Ferrell. The Other Guys, that's an entertaining one. So there's elements of that in this. I forget which one came out. The Other Guys might come out after. I can't remember. But he does fine. Mila Kunis, she comes off as a bit whiny and bitchy. It's like, I get what the deal is with the character. That, hey, she wants this guy to be a better person in terms of grow. You don't have to be stuck to this job if you don't like it. And if you want to do more things, go for it. Or do you just want to sit around getting high, taking bong hits? I get that, but the way they made her character, the way they wrote it, the way she portrayed it at times, not the whole time, just came off as a bit whiny, a bit bitchy. That's why I honestly was fine that she was not in the sequel. And spoiler, that was the other request Robert wanted me to talk about, was Ted 2. Other funny moments, Ted dancing, they got him in the movie because Ted and Mark Wahlberg are watching the extras for Cheers. It's, oh, they don't talk shit, and Ted dancing's like, oh yeah, there was a lot of cocaine on set, and so it was kind of fun to see Ted dancing, poke fun at himself. Ryan Reynolds, he's in the film because Patrick Warburton, he says he's got a boyfriend, and then it's revealed as Ryan Reynolds, who has no dialogue. He's in two scenes, he has no dialogue, there's that, and he appears at the very end of the film. I guess maybe it depends how you feel about the bear as well, like the foul mouth bear, how long that gag goes with you. I mean, to me, there is a limit to it where, okay, you know, it did kind of wear a bit thin. Uh, but, I mean, again, Tim McFarlane does. I didn't mind his performance, but it does. I mean, it's pretty much Brian from Family Guy. You know, the dog. With maybe a hint, you know, a bit more your Boston accent onto it. But then sometimes, like, I swear the Boston accent is gone and you just sounds like Brian from Family Guy. And you know, there were moments watching it and that did me smirk, made me smirk. Like when Mark Wahlberg's talking with Mila Kunis and they're trying to remember their first night, like a night they met, and he remembers it like the scene in Airplane with Robert Hayes. Like Mark Wahlberg is like throwing the jacket and doing this, and like Saturday Night Fever, but it's more like Airplane. And yeah, it's nostalgic reference, but it was kind of funny. The fight was fun, where Mark and the teddy bear have a fight. It was an interesting choice to not have any music, and the reason the bear gets pissed is because he calls him Teddy fuck, Teddy Ruts fucking bin. Sure got a Teddy Ruts bin. And they have this big brutal fight. And again, the fact that there's no music kind of made it funnier. And that's just how harsh they're beating each other. And then the bear's like whipping Mark's ass and stuff. And I thought Mark, for what he was given, he was trying. And there were moments of, like when the TV falls on him, and then Ted's like, "What's wrong?" And just how the TV fell on my dick. Like the way he said it, it did make me laugh. I will admit, I gotta be fair, it did make me laugh. Now again, did all the jokes work? No. I mean, I don't know if I need to see. Well, you didn't technically see, but the idea that Ted has sex and is fucking Tammy Lynn in the back of the grocery store, and I think he says the line, "Put your finger in my what is it, the tag, the hole in the tag." And honestly, the Giovanni Ribisi stuff, I didn't really care in this one. Well, I get the idea, but it was just they need something dangerous for Ted to be in danger, and then I get what it's in there for. Spoiler alert: Mark and Mila Kunis, they get back together. They find out Ted's in trouble. They chase after it. they're at a baseball field. Giovanni has Ted. The bear rips apart. Mark tries to put it back together. It doesn't work. Thinks Ted's dead. But then to show Mila Kunis about how, she has changed as a character. Instead of keeping these people apart, she makes a wish for her own. Wish of her own, and Ted comes back. And then they'll be happy together. Mark and Mila get married. Ted's with Tammy Lynn. They're able to have their own lives. Everything's hunky-dory. Until you get to the sequel where none of that mattered. None of that fucking mattered. So I can see why that would piss people off in the sequel. I can't blame them for that. But it's just that the stuff with Giovanni Ribisi, with his kid, and people might get a chuckle out of it, but okay, nothing about that really intrigued me. I don't know how to put it. I get why he's there, but it's not something that made me go, yeah, or love or enjoy, if that makes sense. It's like, whatever. That's just me, though. I didn't love it. Again, it's just kind of whatever to me. They said the rest of the film... Oh, Tom Skerritt, it was funny. He does actually appear, because the boss who kept talking about he's friends with Tom Skerritt, Tom is there, and he says, "My daughter better be alive, you sick son of a bitch." And you're like, what's the deal with this? Like, I want to know more about that story. Like, what happened? But it was like, okay, that's kind of a funny cameo from Tom Skerritt. I mean, some of the jokes felt a bit forced. Like, I get it for shock value. Like when Ted is trying to seduce or trying to hint at Tammy Lynn. And so he's like sucking on a candy bar. Then he's doing this, and it's with soap, and she's disturbed. And he's like, okay, well, that's too far, huh? That's too far. And it's like, okay, whatever. It's still also hard for me to believe that people would get tired of a fucking living, breathing... I know that's the joke. Even Patrick Stewart says at the beginning that no matter if you're Corey Feldman or blah 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 or a live teddy bear, sooner or later, people won't give a shit. They threw that in there just to not have it be like Ted's this celebrity that people, oh my god. But I'm like, no, I don't care how long it is. I don't care what all happens. There's still going to be a shitload of people. It's like, oh my god, it's a fucking teddy bear. Like this guy, like, because he's trying to look for a job. Anybody would give this bear a job just for the publicity. Come by our place, and like I'm sitting there going, dude, you could be a spokesperson for fucking any commercial brand. Because you're a living, breathing teddy bear, as long as you talk and don't whip... Well, he doesn't have a dick. Don't... Well, how do you... I know you may go, well, how do you fuck that chick? Well, I don't want to know. How do you know he doesn't have one? Because I think in the second one... I think the second... Like, in one of these movies they mentioned he doesn't have one. But anyway. In the second one, yeah. Because I think Norah Jones is in it, and apparently the bear Norah Jones used to be a thing. Yeah, I think it's mentioned that one, the second one. But anyway. I'm like, this guy could get a job anywhere for any fun. Again, hey, you want to do a commercial? Yeah, he's a walking, talking live bear. You do whatever fuck commercial he wants. See, but I mean... you're not supposed to think about that in this. It's like, whatever. I get it. That's the joke. Is that even though he's this, people just don't pay attention to him. I get that. But yeah, Mila Kunis just came off as a bit unlikable to me. Even though I get what they're trying to do with the character, it's just maybe just the casting, maybe just the actress herself. But I didn't like the character. She's not like a one-dimensional bitchy bossy person, but it just something about her just came off as whiny or something. And I think also like the Giovanna Ribisi, the whole chase thing, there wasn't really any humor, any laughs. And for a film that's, a comedy, the fact that just not much of that is in the third act is, I get it. It's trying to be very heartfelt and serious. I get that, but I don't know. It just didn't do much for me. But I mean, there was enough in there that I thought was okay. It was fine. It was a time waster. I don't mind the film. Watch it again. I don't hate the film. I don't mind it. So take that for what you will. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. And we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye for now.